life. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm pretty much content with just rhyming all day.
Or Digital can instantly share pictures.
I can start.
Hello. I am sorry, but I must interrupt this show. Later, you know what it is. Hey, ham solo. It's time, baby. Low. Let's turn out we do. Hey. They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we go. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we go. We say that you heard right. 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 Man, I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you on red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you red fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blizzard. Cut you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch, I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today. Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make it bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we go.
Hey, what's cracking, y'all? Your boy Ham Solo back here today for another episode of TSWS Gaming. And I'm here to kick it with y'all. There is a lot to talk about today. There is a lot to talk about today. It's pretty exciting. Let me turn down my music because I got music playing from my head, playing from my glasses right now. I love listening to music pretty much all the time. Right now, if you're wondering what I'm jamming, probably something y'all don't like, to be honest, but I'm just being judgmental. I have always followed bro for a long time, been a big fan of his music. I'm jamming some Chief Sosa, Chief Keef, cashing right now. I've been listening to Chief Keef since I want to say 2012. So I've been rocking with him for a hot minute. Shout out to John Wolf in the chat. Thanks for pulling up. He says, I see that NWO poster back there. NW for life. Big time. Big time. That's what I'm all about, man. I love me some NWO. I love me some wrestling. Speaking of which, let me go on ahead and, I might as well just go on ahead and start the show at this point and, start throwing up some topics and whatnot because because you brought up the whole wrestling thing, and that is one of the things that I need to bring to attention as of right now. So let's go on ahead and say, screw it, hop into the show. Let's see what's cracking right now. The first thing I got to show off, which is excellent. If you didn't know, yesterday, Netflix had its debut of WWE. So it's the first time they ever actually been able to host WWE themselves. Yesterday was the first time they did it. It is the first Monday of the year. Fair. And they'll have it from now until whenever the contract's up or whatnot. But that's not why I'm here to tell. That's not what I'm here to tell you right now. Although that was a phenomenal episode. It had The Rock, John Cena was there, CM Punk was there. All the big names came out to show ass. They were showing themselves, and I thought it was amazing, right? I thought it was an amazing show. I actually need to go back and watch the rest. I watched the first hour, and then I got distracted by Nvidia's keynote, which we'll also get into talking about that too. As I said, if anybody wants, they can join the conversation. The link is in the description below, and I also put it in the chat prior to the show. And in case it did not save in there, I'm gonna go on ahead and throw it in the chat a couple more times just to kind of be safe, just so I'm ahead of y'all. But But what's cracking, Talos Ray? Good morning. I'm happy to see you here this early in the morning. But anyways, let's go on ahead and go back to what I was talking about. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff to tackle today. It's going to be a good time. And if anybody wants to join, you're more than welcome to come talk some stuff, either about what you were excited about, or if you have something new to talk about. We will also be talking about some of that Xbox Prime stuff that's been kind of circulating as of lately and whatnot. A lot of stuff to get into today, so let's go on ahead and kick it off. WWE, like I said, it debuted on Netflix yesterday, but they talked about 2025, the 2K game, right? So Push Square is the article that I happen to have on here. Shout out to Liam Croft, the person that wrote the article. He put this all together for me to find nice and easily. But here's the commercial that you may have missed. If you're a WWE fan, you should be definitely pretty excited for this little commercial.
Once again belongs to you, the head of the table, the end-all be-all, the OTC, the tribal chief. We need a platform from which the whole world can acknowledge you. When can I book that on your category?
There we go. I'm sorry, I didn't notice that. I didn't have the sound on. So that is what happened live on the show yesterday for WWE Raw for the first time on Netflix. January 27th is the day that you can come to look forward to this game. Xbox celebrated a little bit with a tweet of their own. As you can see right here, they got some pictures and whatnot showing off what the new WWE game will look like. Which, I mean, to be fair, the last several years of WWE video games have all looked phenomenal. So, I mean, obviously they're making further strides and it's going to just keep getting a little bit better, but it's going to be harder for us, or at least harder for the person that's not paying mad close attention to be able to separate the kind of, small differences. But at the same time, they do create more stuff to do within the games, and I'm hoping, which I haven't played the latest WWE game, but maybe I might get into this next one because now that it's on Netflix, it's easier for me to watch, honestly. All that I hope is that Netflix keeps their subscription price the way it is. I don't need to go up any higher. We've all kind of heard about all these different subscription services that are raising prices. And if you haven't been privy at all, as of recent, Disney, I believe, purchased or are looking in not purchasing, but merging, I believe, with Fubo. And if you don't know about that, that's pretty nuts because Fubo is really big into sports. And my wife told me this, by the way. Fubo is really big into sports. And Disney obviously is really big into Disney and whatnot. But keep in mind, Disney, I believe, owns ESPN. So to put those two things together, that would actually gel pretty nice from what I believe. I could be completely wrong, but that is my assumption, and that is where I stand. Shout out to you, Ray Chi. Thanks for joining us this morning. Good morning, by the way. Ray Chi says he looks like Alex preparing himself for a salt video. All right, so who is that? Are you talking about this guy right here, this brother right here? Man, I really want to get back in the WWE. I've had a hard time like keeping focus, but now, like I said, now that it's back but now that it's on Netflix, I'll give it a try. But anyways, that was just a little light information I wanted to talk about. There's a few other light things that I want to go over this morning with you folks. Like I said, to join the conversation, it's in the description or in the chat. Just click the link. It goes to Discord. I decided to use Discord instead of EvMux. EvMux, I don't know if a lot of people were familiar with that, and I also don't know if a lot of people were comfortable with that. But now this is Discord. It'll just forward you to my own personal server where I only do this show at, so you can come through, speak if you feel the need. But continuing on, And as you know, you don't have to if you don't want to. I could sit here and talk to you for hours and not need anybody else extra here, but it's a bonus if I have somebody to share this information with, or just to kind of, have some ideas to push off of. But continuing forward, I wanted to also talk about some of the TV shows that's been, video game adaptations from TV or TV shows that are getting movie adaptations is maybe a better way to possibly put it. I don't know, but one of the first ones I wanted to talk about is something that we're already kind of familiar with, something that you may have already seen a little bit of, but they're coming out with a season 2, and that is The Last of Us. Season 2 arrives this April. My buddy Matt thought it was coming out in March, so there is a possibility that it got pushed back, but I don't remember that statement specifically being said, so I don't know. All I know is that they say, or at least GameSpot right here says, it is coming out in April, and let's go on ahead and check out the quick trailer right here.
It doesn't matter if you have a code like me. There are just some...
So, going back just a hair, this guy right here is a really dope actor. I don't remember his name. Maybe you guys can help me out. But he was in Westworld. Okay? In Westworld was a really good show for 2 seasons. It doesn't sound like much, but like if you watch that show, the production value and everything that they put into it made that show like pretty amazing, to be honest. But the way the show continued from like towards the end of the 2nd season going into the 3rd season, it was a head scratcher, right? It wasn't, to me, a very good direction, in my opinion. Loke, you filthy bastard, welcome to the stream. I should take away, you should not be a moderator. I don't like that. Why are you a moderator? You don't need to be moderating. Anyways, good morning, or maybe I should say good afternoon, to the brother that's on vacation out east in Africa right now. He is away from his home, his stable in Texas. I'm happy to look at him coming in here with this whole legal name and everything. Jeez Louise, what is up with that? See, Ray Chi called it out immediately. See, I mean, you think you might have been like, whoa, Ham, why you gotta announce that? But Ray Chi was already typing it before I even said anything. Look, you, sir, they know your name now. They know your name. You know what? I'll keep it a buck. I'll keep it a buck with y'all. Since Loke just kind of laid himself out there, I ain't telling you my last name. But my first name is dun dun dun. It's Lamar. So like it is what it is. It is what it is. I ain't mad at Loke. Loke coming in here. He unprepared. It's okay. It's okay. Anyways, welcome to the stream, Loke. Hope you're having a good day so far. I know you're a lot further in the day than I am right now. Over here, it is 8:45 a.m. I'm getting it cracking early up in this bitch. So anyways, let's keep it pushing. So this is one of the guys from Westworld. He is going to be featuring in the new Last of Us TV show.
There are just some things everyone agrees are just wrong.
I'm wondering if that's Abby right there. Because the way that she looks, she already looks pissed. I'm assuming that this is Abby for season 2 of Loke's favorite video game, Last of Us. Well, this is part 2.
Are just wrong.
There it is, HBO Max. That's where you'll be able to continue to watch this. Oh my goodness. Rachie, you're so messy. Tom Holland should be Abby. That's what you have to say about that. Tom Holland should be Abby. That's insane. But anyways, Last of Us 2 coming in April, or Last of Us Season 2. We're so used to, I mean, there's been now 2 versions of Last of Us 2 and 3 versions of Last of Us 1 come out. I mean, us gamers have been beat over the head with Last of Us to the point where we really are only seeing, we're more or less watching the movie to see if you did anything different, because we already know what happens. We know what happens. We know what to expect. The first season went very by the book of the video game, and I'm kind of hoping, I'm praying that the second season is not like that. I'm hoping the second season is not. And by the way, shout out to the folks over on Rumble. I literally just started the stream over there. I completely forgot. I don't have the start button synchronized, which I need to get those two things synchronized. Loke says, I'm so done with The Last of Us. And I'm going to tell you right now, no, you ain't. You will be right back with us, sucker. Last of Us till you die. Yeah, but anyways, so that's one of the TV show adaptations that I thought was pretty cool. I'm a fan of the show. I'm just hoping that they do something like I just said, just a little bit different than the video game itself, because we all kind of get that. But here is something that might get you up on your feet a little bit, or something that will make you at least kind of happy and a little less worried, right? Because there's so many things that are live action lately, but GameSpot came out and said that Ghost of Tsushima anime will focus on the Legends mode rather than Jin Sakai, and is planned on a release in 2027. So there is going to be a Ghost of Tsushima anime. So maybe if you're a little worried about all this live action, I don't know how to feel about these actors, and maybe, you know, you're nervous about who they're going to possibly pick. Maybe you think Kevin Hart's going to be the next, Ghost. I don't know. You don't have to worry about that now. It's going to be an anime. Maybe he might do voiceovers. Probably not. But you don't have to worry about seeing live action Kevin Hart in Ghost of Tsushima. They're going to be all set on that. I think this is going to be pretty sick. I'm pretty excited. It says down here, Ghost of Tsushima anime adaptation is in the works. Crunchyroll and Aniplex, Sony Music, and PlayStation Studios are all collaborating on the upcoming series. So that sounds oh my gosh, Rachie, you are relentless. Tom Holland as Jin Sakai. Oh my gosh. I can't with you anymore. No more Tom Holland stuff for you. Okay, there may be one more Tom Holland thing for you, because I'm sure you're going to take it there just one more time. I'm sure you're going to take it there at least just one more time for the next one I got. All right? The next one I got for us, or at least I believe the last one that I have, is going to be our favorite one. The one we're looking forward to the most, Mr. Joanna Dark's favorite one, Loke's favorite one, Matt Likes Games' favorite one. Yes, Sony Columbia Pictures will produce the Horizon Zero Dawn movie. And then in small print, Helldivers is going to have something too. I guess. Nah, I'm excited about the Helldivers one though. Real talk. But that is interesting to see. So it won't be a Horizon Zero Dawn TV show or anything. It's gonna be a flat out movie just to let you know, let you have it. And you know what? To be honest, that's a good idea for that, because I don't think people could handle a TV show of Horizon Zero Dawn. I know I couldn't handle it. I'll watch a I'll watch a movie of it, but not a TV show of it. A TV show of Horizon just sounds like something like, no disrespect, but that's like Star Trek Voyager. I'm sorry for any Voyager fans out there, but that's like one of the Star Treks where I'm just kind of like, meh. And the thing is it wasn't even that bad. It was just like so detached away from what got Star Trek so hype. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not here to hate on any Voyager fans for Star Trek. Voyager was pretty good, but it wasn't no Next Generation good. It obviously wasn't. I mean, there's been so many, and that's why I didn't name Enterprise or something like that, because the Enterprise TV show was just ass. like that was ass, and that's why I said no disrespect to Voyager, but it's just like that was a lot to want to come back to, compared to just having a movie about something like that. That probably would have, I don't know. Anyways, Helldivers is pretty interesting though, because I don't know what to really kind of expect other than, wild situations and death, obviously, right? Death of bugs, death of humans, death of robots. But I'm wondering how cringe or weird they're gonna make it in comparison to something of the past, like a Starship Troopers. This game was pretty much kind of inspired off of Starship Troopers, but can they play but can they like reverse the roles and go backwards, or not go backwards, but can they go from video game to adaptation of a movie? Because that sounds kind of tough, especially seeing that the game, like when I play Helldivers, I don't really feel like there's a purpose other than to kill everything that I possibly can in the allotted time and try to escape with my life. They really I feel like for Helldivers, it'd be nice to have a little bit more background on the world and what's happening. Talos, that's ice cold, brother. Shout out to Sensei 808. It's been, every time I see you, I gotta say it's been a while. Every time I see you, it's been a while. Anyways, Sensei, I'm happy to see you. He says, Ham, what are you doing up this early in Hawaii time? Well, I'm not in Narnia like yourself, brother. I am, I'm over here red pilling it while y'all blue pilling it over there in the middle of the ocean. I'm over here red pilling it up. Shout out to Matrix Path of Neo playing above me right now. That is a really dope game. Path of Neo is a fantastic game, and it's playing from my OG Xbox right now. But anyways, nah, man, I'm doing a show early. in the mornings now. Well, I mean, if you want to call this early, it is almost 9 a.m. Central Time, where I am. So, yeah, I guess you can call that kind of early, but I'm doing the show this early now because it is a little easier for my day, so I can just kind of get taking care of my channel done, and and have the opportunity to be able to talk to you guys and kick it for a little while. But yo, somebody joined, and I believe it is Hard Days Mike. I am live, brother. I'm not sure if you want to be here while I'm here, but I'm here just to let you know that I am live on my channel. If you want to speak, I am more than happy to let you, but you're gonna have to unmute yourself, brother. Guest, Hard Days Mike. You just randomly hopped in the server.
Realized on my end.
What's that?
Yeah, dude, I wanted to show up real quick.
Awesome. Good morning.
I wanted to say thank you also for sending me that clip. I wish I could have replied earlier, but I was out the door to go run a few appointments.
Dude, can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't even have that in the docket to talk about on the channel today. And I know you're happy, Mike, because you're like, I don't have to be on the screen or anything. I'm the only person on the screen right now. So y'all, all you got to do is talk, have a good time, enjoy yourself. But let me pull up that tweet real quick. That was from Clobro, right?
Yes.
So if you guys aren't aware, Clobrill had a tweet earlier talking about Doom, the Dark Ages. And if you know Hard Days Mike, you know he is a fucking fanatic when it comes to Doom. Like, no disrespect, and I don't think he took any. But
no, absolutely not.
But anyways, I'm gonna put it on the screen. I'm gonna play the 12 seconds of it real quick, just so everybody can see it without talking. All right, that was only 12 seconds. So that's it. I'll go on ahead and mute it. But Mike, I got some things to ask you before I let you ramble, because I'm sure you got a bunch of stuff to say. But brother,
I do.
Waking up this morning, rolling over, and I'm not sure. Did you just wake up? Let me ask.
I woke up about like an hour and a half ago. I had to go get some blood work.
Okay, so you were already awake when I sent you that.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So what'd you think? Did you see it prior to me sending it to you?
To be honest with you, I actually was going to try to join a Discord last night to tell you guys that I saw something about it. But I'm going to be honest, I passed out so hard last night because I was trying to force myself to go to sleep so I could get up for this damn appointment. And I'm going to keep it real with you. I almost kind of forgot this gameplay clip existed until, or animation existed, or whatever, rendering, whatever you want to call it, in-game, it is in-game, existed until you sent it to me again, because I was so freaking tired last night. So thank you. Dude, I'm so excited. Do you have something else you want to ask? Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No. Actually, I know you're excited. Hey, I'm unleashing the wolf. Go on ahead, brother.
Okay, right on, man. I'm so freaking excited. I absolutely adore what I'm seeing here when it comes to just like the level layout. And this arena right here, I'm actually watching it through the stream right now, so I'm probably like a second behind or whatever. But there's a part where it shows this massive combat arena that looks like it's indoors, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. And I cannot wait to just be let loose inside with all the new tools and weapons and everything the Slayer has to offer.
So let me know. I tried to pause what you're talking about. Maybe it is coming up here in the next go round. You know, you're like 5-10 seconds behind on where where I am live, actually. But like, yeah, right here, I stopped it. Is this what you're talking about?
Right there. That's it. Yes, that arena right there. That you're exactly it. I cannot wait. That I'm so excited just to see how wide that arena looks too, because I know Hugo Martin says he wants to bring the combat more down, onto the ground rather than up in the air like Eternal. Even though I adore that but it's like I'm so happy to see them explore with a whole, I don't want to say whole new necessarily, but to kind of branch out and to kind of have a mesh of what made 2016 phenomenal and Eternal phenomenal and make its own thing. And I just always got to say it, and I always got to say it. I'm always proud, and I'm always happy that I called that we were going to be going into the Slayer's Path. I'm so happy that after I beat Eternal, like the next Slayer's game is going to have to be him fighting with the Night Lords, or now I'm thinking wrong names. Night Sentinels, pardon me. It's been a while since I played Eternal, or at least the story of Eternal. I play mods now, but the Night Sentinels, because the only place I could go, and I'm beyond excited. And that looks gorgeous. What am I gonna be playing with path tracing on? We'll see how well it performs, really. But like, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm just gonna take my frames over absolutely any type of eye candy like that when it comes to Eternal, like I do with Eternal. So
Okay, so
PS is king in a game like that.
I definitely have some kind of questions to ask since you're a big time Doom fan. I might as well ask a Doom fan about Doom, right? So so in particular with Doom 2016, how long would you say that game was roughly?
Oh my god, I haven't beaten that one since literally 2016.
Not for you, for the average person.
Oh, for the average person. Oh my god. Is that like a 10-hour game? Like roughly?
So not too long.
Because that's not too long. And the thing is like the reason my length for the game is so skewed in my head is because when I beat them, I kind of would go back and replay them so much that it's kind of like
it blurs the lines on time.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'd say probably about like roughly around 10 hours, I think.
Okay, and then how do you know how long Eternal might have been? Because that's a little bit more recent now.
Yeah, that I would say that was honestly, I'd say that's right about the same amount of time. To be honest with you, I think it took me about like 10 to 12 hours. But I can like actually look at my original playtime right now, because that's actually probably about 12 hours.
Okay, I asked you those two questions prior to now ask you, how long do you anticipate this game to be? Do you expect it to be an adventure, like a long adventure? Do you expect it to be tight again?
That's a very good question, because I feel like with Doom 2016, it was I don't want to say it was a cinematic game because the combat was insane. It was off the walls, but it definitely had cutscenes that it locked you in place, meaning like you couldn't skip them. You had to sit there and listen, and you would be kind of in a position where like it was like a first person cutscene. So that had like a cinematic like experience, but it was Hugo like himself said he didn't like how like people would be locked in this room and like they can't leave it. Like if they don't give a shit about the story, they can't skip it. They have to deal with it. So that's why Eternal has cutscenes, because they're like, we know people just want to get out there and rip and tear. So I personally, I think there's gonna be a story there. I think it might follow more along with how Eternal has cutscenes, but I think maybe there might be more of them, or they might be longer when they're there. Because this is kind of this isn't really an origin story, because this is after still Doom 64 when Doom guy locks himself in hell forever to fight the forces will fight demons for all of eternity, which I think is fucking awesome. That's the most insane imagine being that fucking angry you lock yourself in hell for all of eternity to just keep fighting them. I think that's fucking cool as shit. But
I mean, it's cool, but that sounds awful.
No, it is. No, it literally is, because there's a dialogue line. He's like there's a line with like all that pain and all that suffering, and it's like you can't it is like with all that rage, and it's like you still aren't like satisfied or something like that. There's a lot of dialogue line where it's like the Doomslayer is suffering. He is literally suffering. Like he is constantly enraged. It is to the point where he is nonverbal. Like that actually is like a canonical thing where like he doesn't speak because he's just this enraged, like kind of like killing machine.
So I'm gonna ask you real quick, Mike. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you know a lot about Doom, so I want you to give a little bit of background on yourself and how much Doom you've been fucking with since, you know, you started playing. Just a little bit of background.
A little bit of background. This is gonna be the funny and most honest truth. When I grew up, I always played Doom. I always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed it, but I've never really. It was never exactly always my kind of game. My game as a kid was always like Half-Life. That was kind of my first person shooter from that era, and that isn't a fair comparison because they're like years apart. But just for reference, I was born in 1995. I wasn't out. My release date wasn't yet when like the original Doom came out, if I'm not mistaken, and I was like 2 years old when Half-Life was out. But like my most like grounding shooters were things like Half-Life and Counter-Strike and Team Fortress. So whenever I'd play Doom, I'd always enjoy it, but it was never really something I was dying to play. I got Doom 2016 after seeing an incredible gameplay demo they showed. I believe it was at E3 one year. I played it. I thought it was fun. I actually dropped it initially because there was a bug where the game was crashing on PS4 and it was like wiping saves. It was a very short-lived bug. But then Doom Eternal came out, and listen to this. The first time I played Doom Eternal, I did not like it. I didn't like it at all. I was like, this is kind of, this is not it. Like, this is like, I have to do all this shit. This is infuriating. But I kind of sat there and I was like, listen, like, you enjoy something of this because you're still playing it. And when I gave it the actual proper chance, it ended up becoming my favorite first-person shooter ever. When I sat there and was like, I'm going to respect the fact that I can't just use this one weapon constantly. I'm going to respect the fact that I have to dodge this. I'm going to have to jump to this. And I understand why people don't vibe with it, by the way. I'm not going to like sit here and like, crap all over someone for not liking it. But once I took the time, I absolutely adored it. That's kind of like a...
Okay, so I asked you that to also ask you this, and then I'm gonna move on to another topic that I want you to stick around for just for a little bit, just because I know you're gonna be very interested in it. But like, I want you to tell everybody how many controllers you broke.
Oh my god! Guys,
I'll be right back.
I need
Just
everyone to
tell everybody.
No, you're good. You guys need to know I didn't break controllers out of anger. I broke controllers out of just playing Doom Eternal so much. I think I went through about, let me say 1, 2, 3. I think about 4 controllers in the span of like,
That's
4
funny.
controllers. Like, dude, 4 controllers, dude. I broke one in a week. The thumbstick literally refused to work. It's fucking nuts how much I played that damn game. But like, I got good at it. Like, it was something I was genuinely passionate about. When they released that Horde mode, I don't know if anyone ever played a Doom Eternal's Horde mode, but I made it to number 13 globally on the highest difficulty it allowed, which was Nightmare difficulty, and that was absolutely stressful beyond explanation. You had to be absolutely perfect to even get anywhere near that. It's just, yeah, man, Doom Eternal is just insane. Like, I remember one time I have a scuffed controller. Like, I have like, technically multiple of them, but I remember one day I was just playing Doom Eternal, and one of the back paddles, the A button is for me to jump. And I just remember one day I was like jumping, and Doom Eternal, the button just literally snapped in half. I was like, okay.
Jeez Louise. All right,
literally snapped in half.
And that's and just to kind of keep it honest, people going through controllers in Doom is pretty normal, isn't it?
Yeah, the Doom community, I have one, his name's Bazooka Joey. He's a Twitch, I believe he's on YouTube as well. He makes Doom related content. Guy's a fucking god at the game. He goes through controllers like, and he's just like me. He kills his hands when he plays that game. There was a time I played that game so locked in that I had carpal tunnel. Like, I'm not even, it was like, he's like, nope, every person that's like, he's like, people that play that game on the quote unquote, like, pro level have to like stretch their hands before playing, or they're going to give themselves carpal. I'm like, this is insane. I need help. But, you know, there needs demons that need to be killed. So someone's got to do it.
All right. So this is kind of this topic is like kind of a 2-in-1, because we're going to be talking about AMD's Radeon 9 9070 series, and also the whole 50 series that just came out with Nvidia, the whole 50 series. Did you happen to catch anything about those? Because I don't want to ask you a bunch of stuff that you don't know anything about.
So I actually have quite I have. I'll say that. I'm not going to pretend like I know absolutely everything, but I'm
Sure.
aware of Nvidia's new
I definitely don't know
generation.
everything. I'm just asking if you've seen, you know.
Yeah, I've heard.
You probably know more than I do about it.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, but what do you want me to ask, or what do you want me to say?
Yeah,
about it?
so
I got some
you see these two cards coming out, and obviously Nvidia's kind of bumping up their price. So their price wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, at least for the 5080. The 5090 is a little bit cheaper than what we thought, but it's still up there, right? $2,000 fucking stinks. That's almost a $400 to $500 upcharge from the last one, right? I think it's like $500.
Yeah. The last one was like 1,000. Was it 400 or 600?
I wanted to say it was $1,499.
I think you're right, honestly.
I wanted to say the 4090 was
right.
$1,499, and this 5090 is supposed to be just $2,000, with the 5080 being $1,000, which is weird because it is separating it even further than it was separated before, right? I felt like the 3080 was kind of separated pretty hardcore VRAM rise from the 3090, and then the 4080 kind of felt like it was bumping up a little bit closer, right? Because the 4090 only had 24 VRAM, and they finally brought. Doesn't your card have 16?
Yeah, my card has 16.
So they finally bumped that up, because
forever.
my 3080 came with 10, which is mad disrespectful. And
Dude,
it came with 10, and then like the TI or other, there's also another 3080 SKU that came with 12 gigabytes of VRAM. So it seemed like, you know, the 80 piece of the series of those cards were finally starting to catch up a little bit, but then this generation happened, and now the 5090 has fucking 32 gigabytes of VRAM. While the 5080 still sits at 16.
I think that's disrespectful as fuck. Like it is. Like it just. I think it's genuinely like it makes me feel less bad. I mean, I never felt bad for having my 4080. I fucking put so many hours into this computer that like it's not even a thought anymore. The thing paid off itself in its like first week of use. But. Yeah, to me personally, it's insane. And if you look at the power difference, if I can bring up a chart, right? Because like a chart with like the price to performance difference. Let me take a look. 5080 chart. Let me find this. No. Oh. Nvidia. Let me see if I can find it. God.
What you trying to see?
Where is it? There's like a chart that shows like the prices of all the cards, and then like the T-flop power and everything like different, so you can like see.
I might be able to pull it up. Okay, right here. I got it pulled up right here. So if you want to pay attention to my screen, it'll show up here just momentarily. You might just have to wait a quick second because you know the stream will catch up. But yeah.
Let's see. Okay. I
You
see
should see it like right now.
There we go. Yep. All right. So look at that, dude. I'm just like looking at that power difference. The 5080, and I got to squint because I got old ass man eyes at this point. 1,800.
Yeah, I zoomed in a little bit.
Flops. Thank you. I see. Thank you. And then I look at the 5090. It's like 3,400. That's not a small jump. That's rather sizable.
Yeah, that's almost double. Like literally,
it's almost double. So you know they're gonna sell a 5080 Ti for like 1,400 or something like that.
It's nice that you say it's almost double, but the price is absolutely double.
Oh, the price is. Oh, I'm sorry, but yeah, true. That's so funny. You're right. Look at the 5070 Ti, and then look how different the 5070 Ti and the 5080 is. Like that.
It's not that big of a difference. It's only a 400 in
not.
comparison to almost literally double.
It's in my opinion, it's like if you're gonna be going for a 57, and this is how they do it now. This is how they get you. That if you're going for a 5070 Ti, you're like, well, I guess I might as well go for the, the 5080. It's more powerful. It's not that much more expensive, and if someone's feeling that, left out of the power, they'll go for the one that's $2,000. You know what I mean? Like, I know, I understand that's how tech works. They always want you to get the better models. But like looking at this is like, and saying the 5070 is the power of a fucking 4090 is insane. That's using frame generation, and now their new multi-frame generation. It's ridiculous.
It really sounds like the 5090 is almost like the the all ends card, right?
Yeah.
It has a ridiculous who needs 32 gigabytes of VRAM?
Yeah, and you know what's funny too? They're still gonna find a way after the 5090 to make the 6090 like absolutely insane. It's the VRAM's gonna come from your brain next or some shit. I'm just kidding, but like I'm more so it's kind of nuts. And just to speak on it quickly, because unfortunately I do have to hop out of here in just a moment.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't like leaving mid subject like that, but is that there's this new technology they're talking about, and I'm a huge fan of frame generation. I love that tech. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I love the idea of having something boost performance, quote unquote. But pardon me. However, this new idea of a multi-frame generation tool is kind of absurd to me.
Really? Why?
I don't know. The idea of having three multiple, I have to see it in action. Once again, I won't probably get at this because it's like I don't need every new shiny thing that comes out in front of me. It contrary to the belief about me, I don't need to.
Me and Matt were thinking, we're like, oh man,
yeah,
here comes Doom,
I
here comes a new graphics.
Yeah, dude. It's like, I got some responsibilities, but no.
Mike's
no,
about to drop $1,000, y'all.
Yeah, about to drop $1,000. Yeah, right.
Dude, you know, having that 5080 would be pretty fucking disgusting on the new Doom.
Oh, absolutely. It absolutely would. But you want to know what would be more disgusting? My bank account after I spend that much. So
yeah.
We're not going to do that. But no, you're right, though. It would be. But
I mean, you could probably sell that 4080, though. Pretty easily.
You're right. I probably could. But it's like, I kind of want to get more mileage out of it just because of the fact of, like, I don't want to get myself in that, like, phone mindset of where people just buy new phones.
No, like, I know. And I'm going to stop talking about it so you don't get all hungry. So.
Hungry, true. Also, I'm starving right now, which is hysterical.
Oh, my goodness. Anyways, Mike, I know you got to get going, so I'm just going to tell you right now, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. You hit me upside the head because I did not expect you to join. I didn't know anybody was joining, so when you did, it made me pretty excited. So thank you so much for coming through here. I was really mostly hoping that you didn't do it on accident because I was going to be like, fuck. Like, I don't want him to be like, oh, man, I'm in the middle of a show right now.
That's funny. No, dude. Yeah, I saw you go live, and I'm like, I need to get in here to say hi to Am. So, yeah. Have a great day, man.
Yeah, man. You do the same. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
All right, but yeah. So, you guys, I'm pretty excited about these cards, and I didn't really get to talk about it much because I mean, we were like yesterday. I was talking about like. Thinking about giving this PC that I built to my wife because she's still always playing Halo on it, but she's also been doing some research and some like little projects and stuff like that on her LinkedIn and stuff like that. She's really just like she's a nerd. She's a nerd. I love her. She's a nerd. But I've been wanting to give her this computer and build my next computer, but with the rumors that were out all the way up until yesterday, it said the 5080 was going to be at least like $1,200 to like $1,500. That was the rumor. And I was just like, if they do that, I'm going AMD all the way. So I was thinking, maybe I'd want to go with a Radeon 9 9070 series that's supposed to be very very much so in comparison to like the 4080 kind of thing, right? But like it's hard to kind of say yeah to this because this is gonna be more expensive than the 5070 is. And it's but the thing is I'm wondering how much VRAM is gonna be on this 9070. Maybe they actually said it already. I don't remember them saying it, but I do know here that they were talking about FSR4 upscaling, which is supposed to be based off of the hardware more than, you know, what FSR3 is, which is software, which is nice because now you'll be able to put them both together. You'll have the software and the hardware that you'll be able to take advantage of. And I think that'd be pretty cool, right? I think so. I think that's what you'd be able to do. I'm expecting them to marry the hardware with the software with FSR4. But anyways, what's cracking with the chat? I haven't got to say anything to y'all in a hot minute. Dorian Gray, I seen what you said earlier. I thought it was kind of interesting. You said, I don't get the way people acted about graphics cards. It's like complaining to me, or it's like complaining to Mercedes, the car that costs so much, that the car costs so much. And I get that because graphics card is like, you get that, you get the highest end of the highest end because you don't want to be like anybody else, right? So, to complain about the cost of it might be crazy, sure. But like but I see where some people complain because it's just like some features were or not really features, but like some things were like weirdly made in comparison to like past. So like for instance, something like a 3060 had more VRAM than a 4060, although the 4060 had frame generation unlike the 3060. So it was kind of like a weird thing. It's kind of a weird decision to make for a certain item. So I don't really feel like people are complaining too much about the highest of the highest because the highest of the highest is like the bar, right? And until, you know, AMD or Intel catch up to the bar, they have the right to set it wherever they want, which is unfortunate as shit, but that's just kind of where we're at, right? I mean, what are we going to do about it other than complain? And, you know, if we complain too much, then we just don't get as much innovation. Or maybe we do, but it's all like cut corners. Like no matter how you look at it, these businesses are going to try to cut corners to make sure that, I mean, just like I said earlier when we were looking at this, I said, oh, it's funny how the 5080 is almost half, or the 5090 is almost double the 5080 in specs. But that price is definitely doubled. Like there is no almost doubled on the price. The price is doubled. So that I mean that's kind of what I'm pointing out a little bit. Is just that some of the other stuff might frustrate people, like 5080 compared, or like the 3080 and compared to like the 4080. Like that one has much more VRAM. And it has the frame generation thing, while mine, which is just one generation prior to it, is so much like lower. But then they have the 4060 where it's backwards, 4060 and the 3060 where it's backwards. So it's just like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird, especially since we're, you know, so VRAM bound nowadays with all these new games and things to be able to do. Anyways, I think we're done and moving on from that. As I was saying, I'm kind of sitting around here with the 5080 and the 5070 Ti. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. That's the range and where I'm at. I'm not completely saying no to AMD at all, because I think what AMD is trying to do is pretty cool. And to hear that they're coming out with, you know, with FSR4, which is hopefully going to marry software and hardware frame generation, would be phenomenal. So, I mean, that is something I'm going to have to definitely look around and just see those things come out before I just run out and just purchase something blindly. It's kind of what I did with my 3080. I chose I wouldn't say I was completely blind, because like obviously it wasn't easy getting the 30 series cards. Everything was sold out. But it was like once I made my choice, I didn't even like look to see what is. But I think the 3080 was the right choice at the time for me. I don't regret it, but I feel like if I just bought a 9070 XT and didn't completely look at like the benchmarks between the two, I might be a little disappointed a couple years down the road. But anyways, there are some other things that came out with CES that was mad interesting that I wanted to talk about before I got into some of the other things. In fact, I didn't even bookmark this stuff, so you guys will be here watching me essentially look it up. There was this Acer product that was really fucking weird. Let me go on ahead and go to YouTube and look it up. It's the Acer something 11. Yeah, okay. Nitro Blaze. This thing is mad weird. It's huge. Look at this thing.
Hi, I'm Brian Lester.
Look at that thing next to that guy right there. That is huge. But the thing is it's also $1,100. So for me, I'm not really looking forward to it that much. But this is going to be $1,100, and I believe the Nitro, I think it was Nitro 8. Is it Nitro 8? I want to double check, so I'm not just telling you guys just shit. Is it Nitro 8? Yeah, see right here. Nitro 8 and 11.
What's
So
in terms of screen? Not
I don't need to listen to him do all the talking and stuff like that. But anyways, here are the specs for the 8. So, I mean, not too bad. Got 8 core, 16 threads. Graphics card. See, I don't know though, man. I mean, I feel like this, like all this that it comes with, 55-hour, 65-watt Type-C charger. Yeah. Okay, so 720 grams. That's a heavy bitch. You see this? Acer Game Space PC Game Pass 3 months. It comes with it. That's fucking funny. That is funny. But anyways, I want to go to see what it looks like again. All right. So as you see, there's no trackpad. There's just the D-pad on there. I'm assuming that, you know, that's definitely going to be a touch screen. There's your buttons, the you know, the bumpers and the triggers. Those look pretty good. I do like the way the bumpers and triggers look. I don't really care about this like very lazy paint job that they kind of put on it. in my opinion, just to kind of give it some sort of style. It almost looks like sticker type decoration. It's not that exciting. I don't know, man. That's $1,100 is a big ask for something like that. See, yeah, Rachie says 1100. This Acer better come with a keyboard and smart pencil. What's cracking, Stanley Francois? Thank you for sliding through. AEC founder, Mr. Click. What's good, Vic? Good to see you. Thanks for sliding through. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. I don't know about that. I'm kind of curious what they had to say at CES about it.
This is the new Acer handheld gaming console.
Okay, so that is just somebody talking about. Okay, so maybe that's 4 months ago. I want to see their announcement at that CES, so maybe I can type that in.
Hi, I'm Brian Westover, and we're here with Acer at CES 2025. Right now we're looking at the Nitro Blaze handheld gaming PCs, and the big news is, well, it's big. This is Acer's new 11-inch handheld gaming PC. Obviously, you've got an 11-inch screen. It's also a standalone tablet because you've got detachable controllers on the sides.
I'll be right back.
But it's big in other ways too. But surprisingly light, 2.31 pounds, light enough to hold, easily carry, big enough that you can use it as a handheld, detach those controllers, back up, use it as more of a gaming system or even a shared experience with other people. Under the hood, you've got an AMD Ryzen 7 laptop processor, so not something specialized to handheld gaming, but more powerful and generalized use, including AI. With 38 TOPS, this is going to drive all sorts of AI features. But on the gaming side, you've got a full Windows experience. You can get Xbox PC Game Pass, Wi-Fi 6E, Acer Game Space, all of the features that you're used to, plus this nice big 11-inch WQXGA display that's 2560 by 1600 resolution. Everything you play on here is going to look great. Also, under the hood, 16 gigs of RAM, up to 2 terabytes of storage. Default, it's going to come with 512 gigs of storage. All right, so this is the 8-inch Nitro Blaze handheld. Obviously, it's a lot smaller. You've got a smaller screen, still very high resolution. And instead of detachable controllers on the sides, it's all one unit. If you flip it around, you can see this is all a solid piece. So definitely.
Damn, man, that's all one big ass chungus. One big ass solid piece right there. Look at that. Can't miss that one button. Those one buttons on each hand in the back. You cannot miss that. That thing is big, bro. I'm not like I like how big it is, to be honest. I mean, that's the 8, right? Oh wait, this is the 11. This one is the 11. The other one that we looked at was 8. This is the 11. I like that it's big. I mean, I don't have massive hands. I don't have no Kawhi Leonards right here, but I definitely got like hands that will cramp up easily if using something small. So I do like the idea of something bigger. The Steam Deck is okay. I feel like it's not too big and it's not too small. I'd say it's more smaller than it'd be too big for me. The Steam Deck. Pause. But anyways, yeah. I feel like this might be on the little bit too much. Let's see. Dorian Gray says, and if your kids bother you while you're playing it, you can knock them out with it. I mean, yeah. I mean, that thing is a weapon. You can definitely hurt somebody with that thing. But I like the idea of having a big old screen right in front of me, right? Because I hate bringing my face or like bringing my hands to my face trying to see something, right? So I do like the idea of having a really big screen. That doesn't bother me. What just that price point really bothers me, I guess. And I know that like it's just like you get what you pay for, right? But when I see something that high in price and that like I don't know, that you know, like it's obviously not flying off the shelves. So I worry that maybe there won't be a whole lot of support for something like this too long. I could be completely wrong. They could support this thing like crazy. But I don't know. When I put this up against a Legion Go, I feel like I'd probably go with the Legion Go. Just because it has more, well, I shouldn't say it has more features, but it has more of my type of features. I like that the controls come off of there, right? I like that you can use the controllers for multiple different purposes. I like that it advertises the whole, you know, goggles, kind of like the X-Real glasses type shit for it, right? I like that it advertises it, which means it supports it, right? It's also in a much better price range. That's like $300 or $400. It's $300. It's $200 cheaper than the 8 version of this, right? And I'm guessing, you know, the 8 is 8-inch screen. The 11 is the 11-inch screen, right? The Steam Deck, I believe that screen is 7 inches, right? So like 7 versus 8 isn't, and keep in mind the 8 is $900, right? So I'd really need to see the performance difference between the Legion Go and the and the Nitro 8 to see if I'm getting ripped off, maybe getting the Legion Go, even though it has more of my type of features than the Nitro 9 does. But I just want to see like raw power. Yo, you play Forza Horizon 5 right now, 1080p. Show me what you got. You know what I'm saying? And I bet it wouldn't be too bad. Right, Rachy, talk about it. The 11 is more expensive than a whole ass 5080, bro. A whole 5080. I mean, hell, the Legion Go is more than it is about the same price as a 5070 Ti. But I mean, being more than the second best graphics card on the market to me is crazy. That to me is it's kind of crazy, especially when it's just not. You don't know if it's gonna be that like end all be all, especially knowing that it's a handheld device. I don't know how well a Black Myth Wukong's gonna run on this Nitro. You know what I'm saying? So am I gonna spend $1,100 and then get Black Myth at like 30 FPS? I don't know about all that. That's a lot of money to get some 30 FPS. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I like I said, I just have to see the performance happen so my face can judge it. So my attitude can judge it. Sitting here speculating, it's fun, but it doesn't have very much merit. Anyways, so that was one of the handhelds that I seen that was interesting, that I was interested in, but not really too keen on gotta get it. Like I was really excited until I seen the price and I was like, I don't know. Like because it's trending in the opposite direction that I wanted to, right? So I was looking at the, you know, the ROG Ally, that's like $700 some. The Legion Go, that's $700 some. The Steam Deck, it's around, give or take $500. You can find them cheaper than that. You can find them more expensive than that, depending on the type that you get, depending on the, amount of memory or if you get like a 500 gigabyte or whatever it's called. They have these weird ass gigabyte amounts that you can get for them, or I think there was a terabyte one, possibly, maybe, I don't know, but they're that's part of the price and whatnot. So I don't think so. Like that, now we're adding a whole nother figure on there if we're talking, and I understand. Here's the next thing that we're gonna look up: the GPD for the win. And I believe this was at CES. As we'll try to look it up and see if it was there. Thought it was. Was GPD for the win not at CES? I know they've been talking about. I'm not interested in the GPD though at all. That is a 6-inch screen. The new one is. And yeah, it looks like that. And I mean, that is cool how it slides up and it kind of looks like a PSP or a Vita or whichever, right? It has the keyboard under it, which, that's kind of cool and all. But a 6-inch screen, I was just telling you how I don't like squinting, and that is I'm gonna still be squinting with that. GPD for the win is another one of those that are mad expensive. Yo, Dorian Gray says, let's not devalue PC by calling these consoles. I'm going to tell you what. If it runs at the same frame rate or less than my console, then it can be classified a console in my eyes. You can call it whatever you want, but I'm gonna call it that. It is running around like I damn near think of my Steam Deck as a console. I do. I know it's technically not. It's a PC. I get that. Yada yada. You can argue till the fucking sun guns down. Like, I get that, but I'm telling you that I look at it as a console because it runs the games as good or worse than my console for the most part. Some games that are mad old that the console hasn't made like adjustments to, like something like a GTA 4, those get like a pass, right? GTA 4 runs better on my Steam Deck than it does on my Xbox, but it isn't the Xbox's problem. It's 2K not updating their game compared to on PC. You can just, hit a couple toggles and he said, Henrik. All right, that's fair. You can call me whatever you want. That's fine. I'm okay with it, Dorian. I'm okay. But you said earlier, I use this stuff for work, so my mindset is different. 5090, a 5090 is $2,000, but my workstation CPU and an Exxon W9's $4,300 a piece, which is, I mean, bro, I'm telling you, if you can get this type of shit, right? The 5090, if I had just like a couple grand sitting aside and I was looking to, I am looking to build a PC, but I'm not rich like that. I don't got money like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, your boy out here isn't, like I'm not hurting at all. I could build something, but I can't just, pay for the top of the line of everything, right? So I got to make some things shake a little bit. Just being honest. Now, something might happen in the future that allows me to be able to make a wild purchase like this, but I'm not betting on it. I'm not like expecting that to happen, but if it happens, it happens, and I'll definitely hop on it. Like when I got the 3080 and whatnot, like I just so happened to just have a really good set of events happen. I was able to get my whole PC, Series X, and PS5 pretty much all at the same time, right? It just kind of took the right set of events to happen, and I was able to do that, right? Nothing illegal, everything appropriate. Oh, but yeah, I totally get it. But like, as for like the handhelds and stuff like that, I see what you're saying, Dorian Gray. I'm not trying to say like, yo, it is not worth an exorbitant cost, right? Because obviously these handhelds are mimicking what your PC is doing at just a much lower level, and it's mobile. So having all that stuff on the go is it's very impressive. But when there's other things like, I don't know, like I said, the Legion Go really kind of is kind of the benchmark for me. Anything above it has some splaining to do. I did thrive during the pandemic. I thrived. And it wasn't just and it wasn't the money thing that people gave me. I was working and stuff like that, and I just made a lot of money during that time. It was nice. Just made a lot of money. And it was prior to me hurting my back and stuff like that. So it was really easy for me to just get some cash, right? It's not too crazy for me now. I mean, here in the next few months, I'm planning to go on a cruise and shit like that. So it's not like I'm hurting or anything. I'm doing fine. I'm just like, I'm not making that kind of money that I was making then. That's all I'm trying to say. But anyways, pushing forward, let's get up out of this specific topic. We've been talking about PC stuff for a while. Check this shit out right here. This pissed me off a little bit. I ain't even front. Because I'm just wondering, like, who asked for this? Maybe somebody did. I didn't. Maybe Dorian Gray asked for this. I don't know. But check this out here. I'll go ahead and hit play. Okay, it's just music. It ain't nothing to really hear there. But IGN and many other news outlets have been talking and showing off this Xbox controller that looks very similar to a PS5 controller. And wait a second. What did it just say at the end? Wired? It's a wired controller. I thought this was wireless. This is a wired control. That's even worse. Oh no. This stinks. I don't like it. If I wanted to play, no. And it has nothing to do with the sticks. It's just a gross copycat to me. It is, and hey, do what you do. If it sells, it sells, and shut me up. But like, I personally think this is ass. I don't want it. Even for $20, I'm all set. This doesn't look good. Like, it literally is a DualSense. I don't like it. So that stunk. That was a short topic that I just wanted to just say no to real quick. Oh, man. That might have been all of my time. Oh, there's one last one. So,
Well,
I really enjoy this brother right here, Brad Sams. I think he's pretty cool, dude. Like, I've never met him in person, so I can't tell you if he's literally a good guy or a bad guy or fun or toxic or whatever. I'm just saying his content, I enjoy his content because he does cover a lot of different things. Xbox in particular, which you guys know, that's my favorite. That's my favorite platform to play stuff on. So whenever I'm trying to like see something very focused in on Xbox without all the nonsense, I usually like to listen to Brother Sam's right here. He's pretty good. He talks a little bit about something that I wanted to, get down and talk a little bit about, which was this whole talk about the Xbox Prime. And keep in mind, you guys, I'm gonna put it in the chat again, just in case you don't know. You can join the conversation if you have a couple cents that you want to drop. It's a Discord server that it forwards you to, and you can just hop in here, spit your game, talk your shit, grab your gat, call it, click, do your thing. But we're gonna watch a little bit. I'm gonna watch a little bit of this video with you guys. I'm gonna pause it at some points, talk about what I think about some things that he's talking about. None of this stuff in particular is like set in stone, but I do think that this is a pretty interesting thing to talk about. This will probably be the last topic of the day, and then I'm gonna get out of here until tomorrow, which I'll be right back tomorrow. Same time, same place, different topics. All right? Same opportunity to come speak. So if you wanted to speak today and you don't have the opportunity to, but you'll be free tomorrow, come back in. If you remember any of the topics, just bring it back up and we can brush back over it. Just like I did with Brother Mike. He came in here. He wanted to talk about Doom a little bit. That's what we did. So anyways, let's go on ahead and listen and break down some of this video and have a good time with it.
Well, it's that time. We have next-gen Xbox rumors hitting the wire. It's a bit crazy to think that we're already starting to hear next-gen Xbox rumors hitting the wire at this point, but here we are.
But is it that crazy, though? Because we know Xbox wants to get in front of PlayStation.
The first week of 2025, talking about the next-gen Xbox console, which we know is coming. While there's been some speculation that Microsoft would sometimes exit the console business, Phil Spencer has said, look, there's more hardware coming, there's more consoles specifically coming, and so you got to take that at face value that, yeah, they're not actually exiting the console business, if you will. However,
one thing I did want to mention before we get too deep into this, I did... Sensei says 5 a.m. is crazy for me, Am. LOL. Hey, man. I might still be going by the time that you actually need to wake up. I'm not sure if you're actually up because you got to get ready for work right now, or if you're up just because you couldn't sleep. But if you're up because you had to get ready for work, I'll be right back here tomorrow for you, brother. But anyways, what was he saying? He was just saying just a moment ago. What was it?
The Xbox Series consoles, as we know them today, business, if you will. However, the Xbox Series consoles coming, and so you got to take that at face value that, yeah, they're not actually exiting.
So all this talk about Xbox exiting and being done making consoles and stuff like that, I feel like I'm just like a broken record saying this, but can we finally stop? Can we finally stop with they're not making any more hardware talk? Because they're literally doing it. They have what is it called? Project names already out. And this is supposed to be because I guess there was a YouTuber. Let me see if I can find his channel real quick just so you guys can maybe follow him or whatnot. I'm pretty sure I followed him recently. So yeah, right here. He goes by the Ghost of Hope, right? And he talks about all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay. But he was saying this a while back, which he said, hearing from trusted sources that Xbox is planning to be releasing late in 2026. And he said this all the way back in May, right? Very likely that Call of Duty 2026 is day one release for it. And if you look down not that far, you see, you know, Colt Eastwood talked about this not that long or around that time, but he retweeted something about this just recently. I just don't remember where that post actually is. It might be somewhere else. I don't know. But anyways, so he's been out here saying this stuff for quite some time now, and it just kind of popped back up that he said this. But anyways, going back to the thing that we're listening to, let's keep going.
Console business, if you will. However, the Xbox Series consoles, as we know them today, launched in 2020, so it's been 5 years. So if there are going to be next-gen rumors, you know, it could be a year or two away. The Xbox One was released in 2013, which means there was a 7-year gap. And so if we're at 5 years, being 2 years out, I mean, that's not crazy, but at the same time, you kind of got to just peel things back. Now, I'll be fully transparent here. The show notes that I initially created for this was I was actually looking at the CES announcements and trying to just put things together where I thought the next-gen Xbox console would go. I mean, you got to remember that these specs get locked in many years prior to shipping, and so if we're, you know, what I consider 2 years roughly away from the next-gen console, we should starting to see like what's current gen today will be what lands in the console. However, upon doing this research about AMD's CES announcements, this rumor hit the wire about a Prime, Xbox Prime. And this was supposed to be a code name, if you will.
Yeah, so the Xbox Prime is... And do you guys like that name? Xbox Prime. I don't think it's too bad. Xbox Prime. I mean, it sounds very much like, you know, Amazon has Prime. Xbox Prime. I don't know. Like I like the name, but I also think they could be more creative. Personally. I do like what Ray Cheese says, right? He says Ray Cheese says that they should call it Xbox Next. I like that one. Prime, I don't know. That's weird. Elite would be dope. I do like that idea. Let's bring the Elite back. You know, it'd be cool though if they came out with a Xbox Prime and then had a Prime Elite. That would be cool too. I'd be down with that. They do already use it with the controllers. You're absolutely right. That's a fact.
For the next gen console coming in 2026.
Oh, he mentioned Ghost of Hope right here.
I should say earlier than usual. However, Jez Corden has already said, look, there's no such thing as Prime, so maybe we should just write all this off. And so I just wanted to bring that up as I started.
And that's kind of an interesting thing that he brought up. That Jez Corden came out. Whether you follow him, like him or not, I don't mind him at all. But whether you follow his stuff or not, or believe everything he says or not, or you know, do what's right and cautiously hear and understand, but kind of wait until it's set in stone. He says that there is no such thing as like he says that there might be a 2026 console, but there's no such thing as a Prime. And I find that interesting. right? Because he didn't discredit there not being any hardware during that year. He's just saying that, hey, and which I find a little interesting because it's less like, all right, well then what do you think that the code name is, Mr. Jazz? If it ain't no Prime, then what is it?
Dive into this next experience and thing that Xbox is going to be launching. However, you can't ignore the fact that Jez does come out and say in the comments of where he's like, that's not it. He's like, there could be a console launching in 2026. It's just that the Prime name is probably not really accurate or a thing at all. It could just be made up. I don't really know. The only thing I really know about Microsoft and the Xbox Prime specifically is that Microsoft will have multiple code names for a product. So there's typically like a marketing code name, an engineering code name. Sometimes there's remember Scarlet was like the overarching code name for the Series S and X, and then there was Anaconda, and then there was Lockhart. So there will be a lot of code names.
So I'm not sure if that's something you guys knew. That's something I actually didn't know. I didn't know that they had project names for project names, which is, to be honest, probably smart. They have a project name, Scorpio, for then was Lockhart and something else. And what was the other one that you said?
And X, and then there was Anaconda, and then there was Lockhart. So
yeah,
there will be a lot of code names related to this
Which is a wild name.
console.
What's
Prime
cracking,
is
Oshes?
maybe one
What's
of them.
good?
I honestly
Appreciate
do not
you.
know.
Sour Blow
but I
was
do want to
good.
jump kind of like into the specs here and how I think this is all going to potentially play out. Because again, this next console is going to be, I think, very different than what we have seen historically coming from Camp Xbox. So at, let's see, at CES, quite literally today, RDNA 4 architecture. So that would seem pretty plausible. Like we're going to start to see that showing up potentially in the next gen consoles. Remember, Xbox has a very long history with AMD.
So we actually are getting RDNA 4 in the next consoles, it looks like. Rachie says Lockhart was in reality a Fire Stick. No, there was a different project for the whole cloud thing that they had that they took away, and then I think they teamed up with Amazon and made it the whole thing.
And so
with
does
the Fire
PlayStation.
Stick.
So I don't think it's inappropriate to say that the next version of PlayStation will probably have RDNA 4 or above, probably coming from AMD, right? This all just makes sense. It's what they have done for years and years and years.
Would you guys like Intel to be in the consoles instead? Or are you guys fine with AMD? I'm fine with AMD, to be honest. Intel, I don't think Intel is bad at all. I'm just not sure how consistent they'll stay. Xbox is inconsistent enough as it is. I'm not sure if we need to put somebody else that might be a little inconsistent with them and have two inconsistent people working in tandem. That sounds scary. Yo, Donnie, good morning. Good to have you here. You reached us on one of the last topics of today. We are listening to Brad Sams talk a little bit about the Xbox Prime, which I'm very interested in and excited about. But I'm hearing what his thoughts are on it before I get up out of here. We did talk about a bunch of other stuff prior, so we even talked about Doom Dark Ages, the 50 series, AMD's graphics card. Yeah, talked about some stuff, man. Been here so far for a little over about an hour and a half.
Years at this point. And so RDNA 4 is something people should be paying attention to. Also, unless you've been under a rock, Copilot and AI and all that stuff has been a huge part of the Microsoft conversation. Now, I fully expect the NPUs to show up on the next gen console because, right, that's going to be the thing that powers the AI. And so it fits right into this RDNA 4 architecture. It's supercharged with AI. Now, given where we are right now, it might be like an RDNA 4.5 or something like that maybe lands on the consoles. But everyone's gonna like comment and be like, no, they're gonna have something newer. Yeah, it'll probably be slightly newer, but I bet it will be based off of a Zen 5 architecture, RDNA 4 or above, or something like that. A bunch of cores, right, and some high performance bandwidth, and that's really gonna be about it. And then the question someone's going to inevitably say, but Brad, you said they're going to be building a handheld. Well, first off, I didn't say that. Phil Spencer effectively said that. And so at CES this week, we've gotten a ton of handhelds. Like even there's like an 11-inch one from Asus, I believe.
Yeah,
and
talked
so
about that
we're
one just a
seeing
little bit
a
ago.
ton of handhelds. I honestly think that if they are going to build a handheld, there's probably two hardware products, right? I cannot imagine that Xbox is giving up on that console that sits under the TV. That is their bread and butter. That is what they're known for. But when it comes to handheld, I think I could see Xbox be taking a risk here, as opposed to what is being announced at CES by all of these companies. The one thing lacking in the Xbox/Windows portfolio is gaming on ARM, and none of these vendors, none of the.
So before he gets into talking about ARM, I wanted to read a couple of these comments out. Shout out to you guys that are all up in the chat. Keep in mind, like I said in the description below, if you have anything that you want to say, you can hop into the show. The description below has the link to get into the Discord to come through and speak. There's also some links throughout the chat. I'll put the same link right there so you can see it pop up. If you got anything that you want to say, whether it's about the Xbox Prime or any of the handhelds or just anything that we've talked about throughout the show, come on in here and spit your game, talk your shit, grab your gat, call your click, do your thing. But anyways, so I wanted to read one of the things, I seen a couple things I wanted to read. So I'll start out with Dorian Gray saying Intel is fine. You're right, Intel is fine. I'm just not sure how fine they are with, like, let's say if Xbox got Intel and PlayStation then went AMD. I wonder how comfortable developers would be knowing that those are running two different upscaling devices completely to be able to run said game. It seems like if I don't know, but then again, if Xbox is trying to be more PC and if it's just like a PC type of thing, then it really kind of doesn't matter because the developers have to make the game for PC, right? So it'd be just working with any sort of PC CPU that is Intel. So it'd just be so possibly it could be like a non-factor. I agree with you a little bit, Dorian Gray. Just kind of thinking about it and putting it all together, it could be a complete non-factor at all. But seeing that if they're trying to like keep it more of a console instead of it becoming what they've been talking about it becoming, which is like more PC focused hardware, or more PC realm type hardware, then if they're trying to stay more of the traditional console like PlayStation is, then I could see, maybe there being an issue, but I'm sure developers could figure it out. But it's just another one of those things where it's like Xbox, you had to be just different. And like the one thing that's really well known about PlayStation, whether you like it or not, is that they definitely kind of go out of their way to make sure developers are happy to work on their platform, where Microsoft will kind of maybe push the developer to try something that they're not used to, but the developer's like, yo, I see what you're doing and it's not bad for future shit, but I'm just here to make a game and go home and make dinner. Like, I'm not trying to like do all this extra BS. Where Sony will kind of like give you, they they kind of have a way of knowing their limit, so giving people the opportunity to be able to hit that limit with a good amount of comfort. Xbox can get better with that. They were good with that with the 360, and it was actually the other way around. PlayStation was terrible. They tried to be what Xbox is being and be forthcoming and ahead of the competition, right? And people weren't ready. People weren't ready for that. People weren't ready for the cell processor and shit like that. And developers didn't like it, right? Just like I just got done saying about Xbox making it kind of hard with the Series S. And man, I just wanted to make this game and put it on the platform and sell it, but y'all made it hard for me. That's what the PS3 did. So it's the same thing. It's just the shoes on the other foot. Anyways. Going back to the chat, Dorian Gray said something, or actually, before I go back to Dorian Gray, Ray Cheese said Intel needs the market share so they could get, so they can make a good price, but maybe they will skip Intel to not have a red ring of death situation. And that's kind of where that's another kind of spot that I was at with like not choosing something that the competition might be uncomfortable with choosing, possibly. I mean, maybe you're trying to step out and be different, and Xbox is all about stepping out and being different, and I like them for that fact, but it's also kind of bit Xbox in the ass as much as it's kind of been beneficial, maybe even more so on the bite in the ass part. But yeah, that could raise its own set amount of issues if you're doing something completely different. You know, there may be something hardware wise that goes on that's just within Intel GPUs or CPUs or whatever, right? And then if AMD is fine, then there's no problem with with PlayStation, right? All the PlayStations would be fine. Could be the other way around, though. Could be AMD has something terrible happen. Xbox just so happened to choose to go with Intel that time, and they nailed it, while AMD screwed up. I highly doubt that would happen, but you never know. Let's see. Dorian Gray says people need to realize gaming stuff is like 6% of Intel's business, 10% of Nvidia's. Sure, like I think everybody gets that, but like if you're marketing to the average to the casual audience or you're just the regular folks out in the audience, not to a person that's creating a business or whatnot, and they still want the ability to be able to sell to those people, right? So they're still gonna talk to those people and try to market things to those people, but having that big extra bump stuff, obviously I would kind of agree with you and say that the businesses are definitely gonna be more in tune with using this stuff on a regular basis. And I'm not just talking about like your regular business, like an accounting business or something like that. I'm talking about like people like people that make TV shows, people that make video games, people that are making digital billboard signs and drones. Have you guys been seeing the drone the shit with drones lately? Like let me go on ahead. I'm gonna post a picture to my Twitter real quick and show you guys this little drone. There was like a drone demonstration that I seen while I was out at the Game Awards. It was after the show. It was pretty wild what they were doing with this shit. So yeah, while that's finishing up doing that, let's go on ahead and continue the video, and I'll go over to the drone thing here in like 2
vendors
minutes.
who are like Acer, Dell, and all those guys, they're not going to take a risk on ARM. They're going to just slap an x86 chip in there because they know it'll work, be zero compatibility issues. If someone's going to have to fall in the sort of compatibility, it's going to have to be Xbox/Windows.
Oh, yeah, before we go into that, I forgot I was doing the chat. So, I mean, I agree with what Dorian Gray is saying, though. Like, a lot of the stuff is for businesses and stuff like that, whether it's Intel or Nvidia or whatever. But like, check out this shit that I seen while I was at the Game Awards. This was literally right outside of the awards. Like, this was being shown above the crypto arena where the Lakers play. Those are all drones. That's Hip Hop Gamer in the background yelling.
I didn't know what was going on. Oh, that's fire. That's fire. That's fire. Wow. That's how I be doing them in Call of Duty. Wow. Facts. Yeah, I see you. So you doing that Call of Duty together. Wow. That's crazy. Hi, dog. Oh, word, what was the occasion? Oh, for real? This joint looks crazy. Personally, see it like that? Yo, video games, game like what we do. Even on the limit, get it, we outside. That's fire. That's fire. Wow.
That's going towards growth. And that's going towards a new bag. I've been listening It's going towards growth. And that's going towards a new bag. I've been listening.
Yeah. Hey, can you hear me?
It's going towards growth. And it's towards a new bag. I've been listening.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. How long have I been muted? That's wild. Who joined me?
I did. It's a Spartan.
Spartan? General
Yeah,
Spartan?
General Spartan.
Oh, Lord. How long have I been muted?
That's wild.
I didn't know I was muted this whole time. Holy crap. You joined me.
I did.
What's cracking,
It's smart.
General? I can hear the background, though. I can hear your background.
Hang on.
I've been muted.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect. What's cracking?
Oh no, I'm basically just right here at home. Basically, I'm laid off right now from my trucking job.
Enjoy.
But,
I know what that's like. That's awesome.
Yeah. No. No, I just played some Call of Duty this morning, getting ready to jump back in a game, actually.
Hell yeah. What do you think
But-
about all this new news that's been coming out? Like, have you been peeping the show so far? Have you kept up with anything that's been going on?
Oh, CES?
Absolutely. What do you think about this whole idea of like the 50 series? You know, they got the 5070, 5070 Ti, 5080, 5090. That's $2,000.
Yeah. I can't. If I had the room to place a computer in my in my room or anywhere in my house, I would. But also, that $2,000 is a bunch.
It is a lot,
Now-
but it's also the best of the best.
Oh yeah. I mean, at that point, I would just probably look for. I'd probably just wait and just grab because I'm gonna be getting the next Xbox next year. Anyway. Otherwise, I say. I mean, from what I saw, those cards, they look absolutely gorgeous. Those graphics in those games look gorgeous.
In which ones?
On the 50 series of those.
Oh yeah.
Cards. I mean,
Well, they're talking about the 5070 doing performance of what a 4090 can do, but the question at the end of the day was like what the VRAM's going to be on that, because that's really what's bottlenecking a lot of these games on these newer graphics cards. So it's pretty cool to see the 5070 Ti sitting at 16 gigabytes of VRAM, because just to kind of give you a little bit of I mean, whether you know or not, I have a 3080 in my PC, and that only has 10 gigabytes of VRAM, right? So to hear that the 70, which is, you know, a downgrade from the 80, but obviously 2 generations newer, has more headroom in the VRAM area, but also runs with the power of something like a 4090, which is pretty tough to me. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't played on PC in, let's see, probably about almost New Year's. Wow, about 27 years ago. 27, almost 30 years ago.
On a PC?
Okay, my father had a Sony Vaio computer. It had Pentium 130. It was a Pentium 133.
Goodness gracious.
I mean, it's very old. The only games I remember playing on it were like Mech Warrior and Wipeout, but that was, like I said, back like 96, 97.
Sure.
I haven't played on PC since.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you, since you haven't played since that long, 'cause that's a crazy amount of time. That's like 30 years ago.
Yeah, I was 9.
Why not? Are you thinking about possibly going back to a PC, or are you console? Neither one's a wrong answer. I'm just curious.
I actually know it me because I've seen some of the most badass games on PC, like some of those RPGs and some of those like multiplayer shooters that are exclusive to PC. Look so damn good. But
Yeah.
I would love to, like, I probably, if it was up to me, next gen, I would go have like a gaming laptop, one that's upgradable. Hopefully they can get to that level where they can get laptops that you could just upgrade.
Well, I
and
mean,
not
you
have-
can get the eGPUs if you want to.
Yeah, like get an upgradable laptop next to my Mac. I use my Mac for like business. But like have like a regular, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think if I should go Asus or Lenovo or Asus or ROG, but for that gaming laptop. But I want to also keep my Series X and my, because PlayStation I may wait a year in if there even is a PS6, because Sony now investing into a Horizon show, investing into a Horizon movie. Yeah, they're gonna make a movie out of Horizon. They're gonna make another movie out of Helldivers, which, I mean, that was already done in '97 with Starship Troopers, but and then I know Last of Us continues in April, basically piggybacking off of Last of Us 2. But the old thing goes, is Sony even interested in games anymore? Because like the whole argument 12 years ago when the Xbox One was being talked about, and that thing was TV. And now here we are 12 years later, and PlayStation's going TV.
Yeah.
So I say
It's crazy
Sony,
how that works, right?
So I say this, Sony, make up your mind. Do you want to cater to gamers, or are you trying to? Because it's one thing to dig your hands in both pots, but they all have to hit, or you're just pouring money down a bottomless hole.
Yeah, it is kind of weird now that you mention it that we've got of recently we've got more trailers for TV shows and movies than we have from first party IP. And this is, I mean, this could possibly be like the third year in a row of that. Because if you think about it, a couple years ago, it was Last of Us, Gran Turismo, and Twisted Metal.
I still have to get to see
and they
that
only
show.
came out with Spider-Man.
Yeah, and the only reason you got Spider-Man movies right now is because Sony has the movie rights, but the only reason that we haven't seen it on Xbox is because Sony uses that Spider-Man IP as their bargaining chip, which sooner or later they're going to run out of money to a point where they're going to have no choice but to sell that Spider-Man IP back to Marvel. Because all the movies, the Spider-Man spin-offs, did not hit this year. Madam Web flopped, Venom The Last Dance flopped, and Kraven flopped.
Yeah, Kraven was tragic. I mean, Madam Web was pretty bad too, I guess. Jesus. Yeah, they fucking up. I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. Like they are fucking up. But I gotta ask you real quick. I'm not sure what your time is looking like. I don't want to like keep you here, but I also don't want to push you away. I want you just to feel comfortable. Do whatever you want to do. I don't really give a fuck. I was just gonna ask you, what are your whole thoughts around like the current topic that I'm talking about right now is, you know, Brad Sim is sitting here talking about the Xbox Prime, right? And just a moment ago, I was talking about, you know, would they be willing to choose Intel, or, you know, staying with AMD would be the safe bet because then you're not, you know, you already had enough problems in the past with, you know, working with developers properly. Would you really want to, you know, throw a stick into the, you know, into the bicycle? But at the same time, hey, if you're going more PC focused, doesn't matter.
I would still stick with AMD because I learned a lesson with Intel on my last Mac. For it went kaput on me. I had one Mac that was an Intel that went kaput on me in 2012. And then I had another Mac that pretty much the motherboard fried, and I ended up buying my new current, the one I'm speaking to you with on right now. Basically, Intel has the issue where it overheats. And that overheating leads to a lot of money wasted.
Right. Yeah, we ain't trying to be throwing our Xboxes in the freezer no more. We ain't trying to be wrapping it up with towels and shit. Nobody wants to do that again.
Yeah, I I didn't buy the 360, and they had a lot of games on there that I wanted to play back then. I just that Red Ring of Death, and I didn't, and that was around the time of the economic downturn, where I couldn't find a job.
Yeah, that was around 2008. Yep.
So it's like, yeah, I was like very thin ice close to buying a 360 because Ninja Gaiden 2 just released that year. And I believe what was that game? Frontline Spiel of War was exclusive because Chaos Studios couldn't put the game together for PS3 because of the cell architecture.
Yeah.
I mean, and I say, man, my brother, he was close, but he dealt with some roommates down in Carbondale. I'm in Illinois, by the way.
Okay. You just stayed away.
Yeah.
You just stayed away.
Yeah, he was dealing with some.
I can almost spit on you.
Yeah, he's dealing with some roommates of his at Southern Illinois, at with the 360, spewing some very racist shit, and I mean, I dealt with my fair share on PS3 too, especially in Modern Warfare 2 and mainly Modern Warfare 2 and 09. Lord have mercy. It was ruthless. Yeah.
That shit was some heat.
Yeah.
Hey, but Showtime Day Reezy says, "Morning, Ham. I hear you got Grandpa Joe on the line. LOL." What you gotta say about that, brother?
Hey, yeah, he probably knows. Yeah, because on Dirt and Sean's TTS, I'm always hyped and insane.
I love it. I love it. He also says that Marvel movies have been have turned into trash, which I feel like a lot of people can agree. I don't watch a whole lot of Marvel movies, so it's whatever to me. But to go back to this whole Xbox Prime conversation, let me ask as well to you: do you think 2026 is sufficient, or do you think they should, do anything sooner or later? Like, obviously they can't really do sooner because it'd be announced already, but do you think they should maybe push it for whatever reason? I don't know why they would do that, but what do you just think about the time frame of 2026?
Make sure your chips are in order. Make sure you have the semiconductors. Make sure you have all your ducks in a row if you're playing a mass release of a new console, because we don't know how these upcoming tariffs could be. We don't know how prices could affect, and we don't know what our economy will look like at the time. But I said to Microsoft, I would move in 2026, but make sure you have all ducks in a row.
Yeah, definitely be sure to put it out comfortably. We don't want a Sega Saturn situation.
Yeah, because I don't see Sony releasing a PS6. If they do, it'll be in like 2028, 2029. Because
right.
they just released a $700. Well, actually, after you add the the disc thing plus the stand, coming out almost $900 here in U.S. money after taxes, depending on the state you're in. And I mean, Illinois, we have some massive sales taxes on luxury items. So I would say make sure your ducks in a row and make sure that you have everything at a decent price, and make sure your games are lined up. I mean, make yourself. If I'm Microsoft, I'll make sure you're so unfuckwithable that not even a casual gamer can resist. Make Game Pass advertise Game Pass to the moon. Advertise every single last thing you could think of that next gen Xbox, plus the games on Game Pass, your launch lineup, lay it all on the line.
I love it. I love it because because the 360 tried to do that, but they just didn't, really have enough time to test out the shit to make sure that this type of shit couldn't happen.
Yeah, because I'm gonna say it. Had a 360 not had the Red Ring of Death, they really dominated the generation. And I mean, just on games alone, they were dominating the generation because PlayStation's lineup didn't really like take off like in general for at least 2 years after launch. From like, I want to say really even 2009 is when it took off with Killzone 2. Because I bought Killzone 2. Let me see, of all the PlayStation exclusives, let me see, PlayStation 3 exclusives, I had Infamous 2, Resistance 2, Killzone 2 and 3. And the 360 exclusives I later bought on, where I bought Ninja Gaiden 2 to play on my Series X, because I bought the disc one. Because that was one game me and my brother, we had unfinished business because we beat Ninja Gaiden in 2004 when it came out on the Xbox.
Okay.
Ninja Gaiden 2 was much harder. And I don't think I had the speed as I used to, because I get creamed in that game. I mean, hell, with the Dead or Alive franchise, once Itagaki left, Team Ninja changed so much of that game. That's like, cause I used to basically be king of Dead or Alive in my entire town. I mean, the only person that would really take me is my brother, because he's my older brother, and we both basically wiped each other.
Okay, so now you sitting out here stunned. All right, now you just sitting here stunned. I get it. You was with this shit on some of these wild, tough games, and you also had some hands. You had a pair of hands on you as well, right? You wasn't no punk in the streets. You held it down for your town, is what you're trying to tell me, right?
Well, in the Dead or Alive, when it was like, when the Dead or Alive series was simple when it's in its controls, me and my brother pretty much, we were pretty much like the old NFC Central, the Black and Blue division. We were pretty much beating the snot out of each other. Whereas like then, someone tries me in Dead or Alive 3, I'm laying hands.
All right, so Husky Hokage asked a pretty interesting question that I want to get your thoughts upon, and then I will come out and say what I think about it. So he says in particular that he asks if we think people will buy a new Xbox console the way that they're currently pushing everything is an Xbox. That's a really good question.
It depends on how much of the casual audience looked at the whole everything is an Xbox. Because like you have many people who are still on PS4s and Xbox Ones to this day. And the only reason I switched up quickly as I did is because my internet at the time was trash. I mean, AT&T was always charging us and everything, but that's another story I'll say later on. But this whole new console with how they're pushing everything is an Xbox. I say with the PlayStation, you're still gonna pay. You're still here in Illinois after sales tax. You're still gonna pay 77 and 77.40 something after taxes. Meanwhile, it's like on the whole when they say on Xbox, your equalizer is Game Pass. When you have Game Pass, you can just put in your $20 a month, or even less than that if you go to CD Keys. and you got your equalizer right there. The Game Pass is the exclusive.
Okay. I think that people will still want to get a console from Xbox for the fact that, like, I got my Series X here, right? If they tell me, hey, you can get a better quality, or you can play the brand new game that isn't available on the Series X, or maybe it is available on it, but it's the lesser version of it. And if you get this new console, it will have, the quick resume still, it'll have all this other shit that's involved in it that you cannot get when you play on PC, that you can't get when you play on a tablet and all this other stuff. So having that experience ready in a box for me makes sense. That whole everything is an Xbox stuff to me is just like, the way I look at that stuff is the way I looked at Stadia, right? You cannot have something that should be a tool as your main driving force.
Also, a lot of casual gamers, like your ones that still buy your Call of Duty, your Madden, your EAFC, and your College Football 25. They still buy physical. So you got you start trying to phase out physical copies of games, even though it's just the licensing part on that disc. There's a lot of casual gamers out there that still want to play via the disc. And I mean, where you got like our generation, you got our generation and older. We've already adapted to playing on digital, but not. I mean, it's a mix of physical and digital, and then you got younger audiences who are going to the phones and tablets, but I don't know. It's gonna get a little murky going forward in the future.
For sure. And I know that Xbox is saying a lot of things are an Xbox, like this is an Xbox, that's an Xbox. There are a lot of things that aren't an Xbox yet, that are not an Xbox, and they will never be an Xbox. Like my Hisense TV right here, it will never be an Xbox. I'll always have to plug something into it to turn it into an Xbox. Whatever devices, like you have to turn them into an Xbox, and keep in mind, if I'm not getting the performance that I had wanted, like I said, this is like to me, it's almost like saying, would you rather use your cell phone data at home, or would you rather use your Wi-Fi at home? And it's to me, and to me, the obvious choice is I'm gonna use my Wi-Fi because it's more consistent.
Yep, I'd rather use my Wi-Fi because I just bought a $235 router.
So yeah, you're on that shit. You're like, yo, I bought this to do that.
Yeah,
but I didn't buy the tablet. I didn't buy this TV to play Xbox. I bought the TV to watch stuff on it, and I just so happened to be able to play Xbox on it. There's a difference.
Yeah, I have my I just bought a router to help take pressure off of my wireless internet, so it doesn't get overloaded. Since I got I have my mother and my brother, they watch YouTube. I stream on YouTube. I also play Call of Duty a lot. I'm gonna be getting ready to start Path of Exile after I level these couple of dozen COD. And then there's also updates up the wazoo. I mean, and then Netflix, and then, because I know watching Raw last night on Netflix, I mean, there was some buffering a little. But that was
It
just
wasn't
because
too
I'm
bad
very-
though. It was not near as bad as the whole Jake Paul thing.
Oh, that was horrible. That Mike Tyson thing, that was just horrible, horrific buffering.
I mean, everything about it, the fight itself, the buffering, everything was terrible about that.
But I'm also on the other. I'm also dealing with a lot of snow here in Illinois.
That's fair. Yeah, you guys are getting dumped on.
Yeah, we got buried on Sunday. We got absolutely, like, horrifically buried. I mean, at least I got to watch my Bears beat the Packers, but
Yes, I was so. Oh my god, I was so happy that happened because and I know we're getting off topic, and I'm actually about to exit here, but I do want to say this to you, and I want to give you the opportunity to answer and shout yourself out and let everybody know where they can find you and all that jazz. But anyways, I was really happy because my family loves the Bears. I'm not a huge Bears fan. I'm more of a Broncos fan, but I do admire the Bears. Like, I've always kind of liked that program, but that the program has been in the toilet for like a couple, like pretty much since Urlacher left.
it's our ownership.
What's that?
It's our ownership.
So 100% has to be the ownership. There's no, I mean, there's been so many coaches and stuff like that go through there, but I was happy to see them win because it was just like, man, you guys keep doing this to these rookie quarterbacks. Y'all got to stop doing this to these rookie quarterbacks. And to see how how hyped he was to be a team that was, good. Like the Packers are good. They're not the Lions, but they're good.
Oh no! I mean, when it comes to let me put it this way: when it comes to Bears and the Packers, growing up, pretty much we barely beat the Packers at all. Brett Favre used to the games against Brett Favre. A good chunk of them were not close. A lot of them ended in blowouts. We got slaughtered throughout the 90s. Then we got slaughtered again more in the early 2000s. Heck, in our 2001 season when we got to the NFC divisional round, we got eliminated by the Eagles. We still got swept by the Packers. 2006, we split with the Packers when we went to the Super Bowl but lost to the Colts. Then we started getting a little bit of a hold on the Packers throughout the late parts of the 2000s until Aaron Rodgers came into his own, and then I really started getting pissed.
Well, congratulations, because you guys finally beat them for the first time since like 2018. But anyways, General Spartan, thank you so much for joining. Anything that you want to say as you exit?
Well, you can find me on Twitter or X. I don't care. I still call it Twitter because fuck Elon Musk. You can find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on Xbox Live under General Spartan 56. You can find me on PlayStation under General Spartan 56. You can find me. I'm actually on my way over to Boom's channel next for Xbox Factor podcast with let's see, today it's him, Jamie Rain, and Infinite Umbra. So I'm headed there next. Yeah, I will catch you around.
Yeah, thanks for joining. You're always welcome. So whenever you want to slide through and you see the little Discord button and you got something to say, come on through, brother. I've enjoyed your time and respect. Thank you so much.
All right. See you later, Abraham.
Later, bro. All right. So So you guys, that was pretty dope. I was happy to speak with General Spartan. This is the first time I actually got to sit and talk to him and have him on the channel. But that's why I do this show out here. Shout out to Dragonheart Yobi as well, another brother, a mod that I have on the channel. He is another good brother out in the community. He's always sharing out that I'm live and stuff like that, which I really appreciate. But let's go on ahead and finish out this video. We got about 5 minutes left, and then I got to get out of here. I got to get ready for work myself, get out there and make some paper myself, and then get back home. But anyways, let's go on ahead and go through this.
And so a handheld ARM device from Xbox would be super interesting because it would start to turn the wrench of like, hey, we got to get ARM up to speed on gaming, and who's going to drive that? Well, Xbox. And so you could see a tandem combination here where there is AMD underneath your TV, and then there's also a mobile device coming from Xbox running ARM, and that way they can get ARM up to speed on gaming, and that is more than likely going to be it. You got to remember that ARM stuff came from, what was it, the FTC 2020, almost at 2013, 2023 leaks when they were trying to buy Activision. Like there was some talk of the next gen console being on ARM, and so there you go. Something I really do want to point out, because people are going to get tied up and say 2026, that is too new, or that is too recent for a new generation of console. I think at this point we can declare that console generations are dead. They never really, I mean, you can ask anybody who's a console gamer, it's like this generation felt like it never really arrived, and then this is still being supported.
Yeah, man, the sad fact of of us still giving games not only just to the Xbox One, which was supposed to be just gone, right? We were supposed to pretty much forget about the Xbox One until certain things like Capcom came out, which shout out to, I think it was Showtime Reezy that said that. Where is it at? I know he said something about it. Let me find it. Work. Okay. Yeah, he says, I'm ready for the Capcom Fighting Collection 2. So yeah, Xbox had to go back essentially and allow the Xbox One, you know, the whole, I forgot what it's called. Dang, starts with an M, I believe. But anyways, they had to go back and allow Capcom to pretty much make an Xbox One version of it, because the game that's going to PS or the PlayStation is not a PS5 version. It's pretty much like a PS4 version of the game. But these older devices are still being supported. The Xbox One with the Call of Duty, and then the PS4 with Call of Duty as well. Black Ops 6 are still being heavily supported. And it doesn't really seem like people really care too much about, I mean, I shouldn't say people don't care too much about this generation. People do care a lot about this generation, but I think people are just less willing to move on as quickly as they were with previous hardware that seemed to be much more of a leap in technology. I feel like the PS4 and the Xbox One was a leap enough for a lot of people, and seeing that they're still being supported by all this stuff, and on top of it, a lot of this generation has been filled with remakes and stuff like that. People are just not that feeling the need to have to go buy a brand new piece of hardware, you know? So, I mean, it just kind of is what it is. And things like Switch, things like the Nintendo Switch are reminding a lot of folks that it's not all about the realism when it comes to video games and stuff like that. It's about just kind of detaching yourself from reality and having a good time. It has nothing to do with having, you know, 4K 120 graphics that look so real that, you know, you can see a freckle. You know, you could see the pores on their face and peach fuzz coming off of their cheek and stuff like that. Like, it's cool when it does that, but that's not really necessary to make big time sales. Nintendo made that loud and clear, right? Shout out to Chips and Sticks as well. Good to see you. Thanks for popping up in the stream, coming through to listen. Whether you're coming through to listen or speak or whatnot. I am close to the end of my show, though. Just a little forewarning right there. Tomorrow I'll be continuing another episode.
You can go
of this,
buy the latest version of Call of Duty.
Yeah, I'm pretty much at the end of the show right here. We got about
the new
5
current
minutes,
gen console,
6 minutes
and
left.
still buy it for
I gotta
Xbox
get ready
One.
for work.
PlayStation 4 is also supported, and so what the point here is that timing of console releases, I think, is going to become less and less relevant over the grander sort of scale. If you think about this, because Xbox is known and done a very
We might finally get to the place of what Sega was trying to do so many years ago, right? Maybe you can't see that. I have that right there. But I don't know if my light will turn on. This thing is a bitch sometimes. And I think it's because of this fucking battery in this goddamn remote. It's not very good. There it is. Oh wow. Oh cool. How did it turn on, and then turn off? How does that work? What is up with these buttons? This shit is wild. All right, there. Anyways, got the light on. Anyways, right here I got my Sega Genesis, the Tower of Power system and whatnot. I also got all these little toys that my daughter tried to give me for Christmas. But anyways, I'm wondering if we're ever going to go back to a time of what Sega tried to implement, right? Where we have a console that you just kind of add something to it to make it stronger. Hell, you can even go back to the old school 64 that I have right here, right? If you've seen right here, you know the old school 64. Let me pop this guy out of there. Remember this guy right here, right? For the N64. This guy. I'm wondering if we'll ever get to a point where we make a console to where it's just like we just take something like this and it's next gen. Now it's next gen. You see what I'm saying? Like that's cool to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm done with the last gen crap. Let's get this. And I'm even using the top of the thing. Okay, this is last gen. Now I got next gen. Done. I wonder if we'll ever get to that point. It seemed like we almost did it with the 64. But then it was like, nah. I disagree with that. Sensei saying they won't make enough money. I totally think you can make enough money. You could totally make enough money. To put like and say, hey, this comes with a new controller that you'll need to play these new style games or yada, yada, yada. You can make all these stupid things that you don't really need and tell people that they need it, right? You can have all these silly little extra things and it doesn't work without those extra things if you want to nickel and dime people. But that's the future that I'm kind of looking forward to, is something where I have the same device. I don't need to continue to clutter up my house with another big ass device that goes onto my entertainment center. I'm essentially treating my console like a PC. Out goes the old expansion card, in goes the new expansion card. That to me would be like the ultimate way to make a console going forward. If there was some way just to kind of almost hit eject tape out and get all of that crap out and insert new VHS full of, you know, a new GPU and CPU and all that yada 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 yada. And it does not work without one of those being plugged into that. To me, that'd be hot. Well, anyways, you guys, with that being said, I got to get out of here. Somebody it just showed up at my apartment, and I think it's the person that fixed my dishwasher. So sorry for the last second ending like this. We'll continue the rest of this tomorrow. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.
We said